All right, I think we should go ahead and get started. I think, again, this session is recorded. So for those who aren't able to catch it live, you'll certainly be able to get access to it at a future date. So again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the data management webinar. My name is Dimitri Broom. I'm one of the account managers here at ProV, supporting the IFS practice here for North America. I want to thank everybody for joining us today for the data management webinar. We're going to be focused on how organizations across the IFS ecosystem can unlock the value of their data through quality, structure, and strategy. Like I said, my name's Dimitri. I'm based out of Houston, Texas, and I'll be your host for today's section. For today's session. We're thrilled to have you here with us. And so whether you're in the middle of an IFS Cloud upgrade, you're planning a greenfield implementation, or just simply looking to improve data governance and reporting, we're excited to have you no matter where you are in your IFS journey. I'm also joined by some of my team members. So Srinivas Anand is our CTO, Priscilla Pazos is our head of marketing, and Brian Petty, one of our senior account managers and my counterpart. Just a few housekeeping items before we jump right in. Since we do have a large group today, we're asking everyone to stay on mute till the end of the session, and then we'll open it up for Q&A. And also be sure to stick around. We'll be giving away a $150 Nike gift card drawing at the end. So one lucky winner will get that, but you have to be here to claim it. From an agenda perspective, today's session will cover, we'll go through a quick round of introductions, talk a little bit about ProV and the role of data and ERP ROI. We'll cover accelerating upgrades through data management. We'll get into some of the tools that ProV's developed in order to increase time to value and lower cost. At the heart of it, addressing some of the data challenges. Then we'll cover some of the enterprise-wide insights as it relates to data warehousing and how to lower cost and improve performance and efficiency. And then finally, looking at the future, preparing for AI and why data matters. So about the role of data and ERP, specifically around driving that ARI. We often say that an ERP is only as good as the data you feed it. And with so many companies migrating from legacy systems or preparing to modernize, there's never been a more important time to address data quality, structure, as well as accessibility. So whether you're here to look at addressing data sprawl, siloed reports, or just planning for that future AI capability, data is the foundation for determining your future flexibility. So quick little overview of ProV for those who may not be familiar with us. We are a global IFS partner. We do deliver end-to-end services, including everything from cloud upgrades, implementations. We provide application management services and data-focused solutions like data cleansing, data warehousing, and integration architecture. And we'll really get into the heart of that data cleansing and data warehousing today. What sets us apart is our ability to provide those strategic advisory services as well as technical execution, all in a very tight commercial package. And we've helped many of our clients get the most out of their IFS investment. So whether that's better decision making, audit readiness, or as I shared before, AI enablement. We've been in the IFS ecosystem since 2015, working with companies across the board, everything from aerospace and defense, manufacturing, service related companies, utilities, and telcos. We're headquartered out of Tampa, Florida. And just a few key highlights about us. And then again, we're going to get into the meat and potatoes super quick here, but we have close to about 1,000 people globally. And we have hundreds of certified resources, and we've completed hundreds of projects. So final slide, and then I'll turn it over to Srinivas. We create value through a global delivery model. And as I mentioned before, we are headquartered out of Tampa, but we have 5 global centers of excellence and delivery centers across the globe. That's the Philippines, India, Poland, Brazil, as well as, like I mentioned before, North America. We're a very flexible company, and by having this global model, it allows us to leverage both remote as well as onshore resources to maximize your project's value. When you're interacting with ProV, it's not uncommon that our CEO is going to jump on the call. He loves to get his hands dirty and be involved in every interaction, every customer interaction. And so we're a flat organization. We're here to focus on solving problems. And the final point I'll make, and there's a lot to cover here, but we have a strong recruitment team. So we're constantly looking for ways to improve our team as well as just solve problems for customers at all levels of functional, technical, solution architect challenges that are out there. So with that, let's get into the meat and potatoes. I'm excited to be joined today by our CTO, Srinivas, who will guide us through these topics and share some real implementation insights that you can act on. So with that, let's jump into the session, Srini. Take it away.
Thank you, Dimitri. Dimitri, can you enable me to share so that I will run you from my computer?
You got it.
Okay.
We see your screen.
Thank you. So first, let me start with the big picture. I want to explain here the role of data in the ERP ROI. So across more than 150 ERP projects, which we have seen, or one consistent theme we have always been listening to is that data quality is the one single biggest driver or a blocker for ROI in an ERP system. And poor data management delays implementations and increases the risk. Even the same thing happens when we are doing an upgrade project also from one version of ERP to another version of ERP, and then we are handling it using some kind of greenfield implementations or any other solution or any other methods. According to industry reports also, we see that nearly 70% of ERP project delays are tied to poor data and quality of the data, whether it is duplication in master records, missing transactional history, or inconsistencies in configuration data. All of these things create major delays just due to late stage data issues. So, at the outset, a good data is always the foundation for faster upgrades, faster implementations, more accurate financials and reporting, better readiness towards adoption of AI, automation, and compliance. And that's what we are here to improve today. Apart from this, we also look at different scenarios where you have to handle decisions when the data is spread across multiple applications in addition to the ERP solutions. And then you have to be smarter and faster in taking business decisions. We have a solution where we also help our customers to leverage data warehousing to achieve that particular one. Especially, this is also a useful scenario when you have a lot of historical data that has to be moved, and then you want to have your IFS Cloud environment lean and clean. And in such scenarios, when you are creating some kind of reports and dashboards and such kind of things, there could be scenarios where you have loss of historical context to the business when you are creating business intelligence reports. And sometimes you need these particular data for managing your compliance requirements. As I have been telling a little while before, the AI and machine learning are some of the new things that every customer would like to incorporate in their ERP solution. And then to ensure that the AI provides you better results or proper results, the first and foremost thing is to ensure that you have the right data in the system. The data is the critical part of any of the AI and machine learning based solutions, or when you want to get into these particular strategies of leveraging AI and ML. Over and above all these particular things, ProV has come up with some proprietary tools and accelerators which can be leveraged for data migration from legacy versions of IFS or from tools like IFS FSM to IFS Cloud solutions, which could reduce the overall implementation timeline by around 20% to 25%, which actually could bring in a lot of reduction in implementation costs, as well as improve the turnaround times in your complete implementation or the upgrade activities when you are having that. Having looked at this particular, the how data plays an important role when you want to handle upgrades or implementations in an ERP system, especially I'm talking most of the times with respect to IFS ERP, I want to tell about how we accelerate the movement into the cloud. So typically, when we are doing an data migration exercise, whether you are on an IFS apps 7.5, 8, 9, or 10, and considering to move into IFS Cloud, data migration is your first major milestone. And at ProV, we use a structured 5-step approach: a pre-migration assessment to evaluate the source data and complexity. We profile the legacy systems, whether it is a legacy version of IFS or it could be other applications like your AS400 or an Oracle or homegrown databases. So you might have data in each of these particular systems. We have to do the legacy system profiling, and then we create field tested mapping templates. We have data mapping templates that were created. We need to create templates for master data, transactional data, configuration data, and also if you have customized tables, even those particular things, we need to do that. So we have field tested mapping templates for core modules, for all the core modules, and also for example, you can use it for customers, items, suppliers, GL balances, and all those particular things. And once you have this particular data mapping done, you have to go for cleansing scripts to handle common data errors early. So we leverage on these particular cleansing scripts to prepare the data for the data migration. And finally, once we do all these particular things, we do a dry run simulation that allows us to validate the mappings, identify and catch issues if there are within this particular data before we go for go live. The end result, we will have around 30 to 40% shorter migration timeline, lower reworks, and much less last minute chaos in the overall migration exercise. So when we do this particular data migration, we leverage, IFS also has got a lot of tools. It has reference tools that are there. And then ProV leverages those reference tools while we handle those particular things. So if you have already seen the IFS Cloud, you will recognize some of these particular tools. So one of the tool is actually for migrating data within IFS applications is the Smart Data Migration Manager. So which is the backbone for all the data jobs. You might leverage the IFS Solution Manager, wherein you have the pre-built jobs that align with the IFS standard tables and templates for frequently used objects like inventory, customers, and GL, general ledger, and also for certain master tables. So all these particular ready-to-use templates are given for certain objects, with IFS, which are pre-built, which we can leverage as part of the migration exercise. And finally, we need to also have the audit logs and validation reports that ensure traceability. These are essential tools, not optional tools, in order to stay compliant and be aligned with the upgrade methodology outlined by IFS. And our approach at ProV is built directly on top of these particular standards. So what we do is we have leveraged these, we leverage these particular functionalities which are provided by IFS, but at the same time to provide an end-to-end activity, seamless activity for the data migration activities. ProV has built some tools and accelerators to help aid data migration. So in ProV's data migration accelerators, ProV has got its proprietary tools, which have script-driven ETL tools. You have legacy system connectors because you have to connect to a legacy system. So we have connectors that could actually connect with the legacy ERP modules of IFS, be it IFS 9, 10, or even the older versions of IFS. It could also be to other systems like your IFS FSM is a different system with different architecture. You have other applications like your Oracle, SAP, and such kind of things. You can have the connectors to those particular things to be able to extract the data from those particular systems into your IFS Cloud environment. We create template-based field mappings aligned with IFS structures. So our templates, we have a template which will actually map the fields from an IFS FSM system to IFS Cloud system, or a legacy version of IFS ERP system to IFS Cloud system, or from a third-party system to IFS Cloud system. When we are going for a third-party system, we may have to spend more time to map those particular things with the legacy, with the versions that, if the versions have not been worked out by ProV before, but most of the things we do have those particular versions with us. So when ProV brings these particular activities on top of the IFS native tools with these particular tools and accelerators, whatever we are building, we need to also be compliant with some kind of with compliances when we are handling critical defense or aerospace customers. If they want to have ITAR compliant workflows where where the data is not supposed to be seen by the person who is handling this particular data migration job. So we need to ensure that these things are also handled meticulously to be able to perform this particular one. So the ProV tools will take care of masking this particular data, hiding this particular data from being leveraged by the person who is performing it, maybe taking approvals or approvals from the relevant person to be able to move the data in such kind of scenarios. We will take care of these particular things. And when we do all these particular things, we do take care of the pre-validation rules. Like you have the pre-validation rules that need to be handled for your units of measures, tax, currencies, key code checks. All these particular things are handled when we are handling this particular migration using the ProV's inbuilt tools and accelerators. Our exercise in the using these particular accelerators and our experience indicates that we were able to reduce the customer's data load effort by around 30 to 40 percentage using these particular accelerators. These accelerators, whatever we have built, are real time savers, and they help with resource predictability also. I want to showcase one example on how our tools work when we are doing a data migration, especially from IFS FSM to IFS Cloud. IFS FSM is a different standalone package that is available. And when we have to migrate from IFS FSM to IFS Cloud, the basic minimum things that we need to migrate are the master data, the basic data, and the open transactions. So on the left-hand side in this particular picture, I'm showing the IFS field service management modules. The modules are there, the entities are there, and then the components related to the master data. Most of these particular things are related to the master data. These are a representative list of items, but not the complete list. A complete list is much big enough, which we will not be able to handle that particular one in one single slide. So we have mapped all these particular things. We have come up with a migrator that would help migrate these particular data into the IFS Cloud environment, mapping it suitably to the corresponding entities and modules within IFS Cloud, and also to the respective components within IFS Cloud. Now, when it comes from IFS FSM to IFS Cloud, the nomenclatures, the naming conventions, the role, the kind of mapping, they do not have the similar kind of naming conventions, similar kind of data sets within the IFS Cloud. We may have to map this particular data properly between IFS FSM and IFS Cloud. So we have pre-built templates. For example, our FSM migrator is intelligent enough to identify that the roles kind of entities, right, in IFS FSM has to be mapped to permission sets in IFS Cloud. So their names are different, but still it is intelligent enough to identify such kind of things, and then it will map it to the corresponding things within IFS Cloud. The migration team can select which modules to be migrated, because sometimes you might not require all the modules from IFS FSM to be migrated into IFS Cloud. There will be a UI that will be provided to the team, wherein you can select which tables or which modules you would like to move. And then based on this particular selection, the tool ensures that it picks up even the reference tables from the source and migrate them into IFS Cloud completely automatically. The tool takes care of data cleansing, data transformation in line with the IFS Cloud requirements. And then wherever required, it leverages the standard tools within IFS Cloud where on need basis. And if you require any kind of more in-depth information or a demo of these, how we perform these particular things or how we handle these particular things, if you want to know, we can actually have a separate session on a case-to-case basis, because each source is a different type, and then how we handle each of these particular things could be a different one. Like in this particular same example, where I have the source as an IFS FSM module, it could be the other versions, lower versions of IFS ERP, or it could be a third-party ERP, which can be acting as a source instead of the IFS FSM in this particular slide. While I have talked till now for migrating the data from the legacy system into IFS Cloud, there could be other scenarios when I'm looking from an enterprise perspective for moving the data from the other legacy systems into IFS Cloud. If your decision to implement IFS Cloud or upgrade from a legacy IFS version is a strategic move towards enhanced efficiency, agility, and innovation, this journey often uncovers critical data-related pain points that can impede progress and limit the full potential of your new ERP system. Especially when you want to have the cloud system to be lean and clean, then in such a case, you have to take care of certain things. Typically, what happens is that when we are doing a data migration, your data migration, it is not always feasible or cost effective to migrate 100% of the historical data from the legacy systems to new cloud instance. This can create data gaps that pose significant regulatory or compliance challenges, especially in industries with stringent data retention requirements. And sometimes auditors may require access to historical transactional data not present in the new system. And beyond your primary ERP, your organization likely utilizes a multitude of specialized applications. It could be third-party IoT platforms. It could be many more applications that are there. When you have each application holding vital data, but these data silos prevent a holistic view of your operations, leading to fragmented insights and inefficient operatings. This could also be a challenge that you might be facing when you are having a modern enterprise. And without a consolidated view of both the legacy data and the current data, when you want to have your IFS cloud system clean, the ability to perform an accurate trend analysis, year over year comparisons, and long term strategic planning will be hampered. This limits the value of your business intelligence efforts. So that's why loss of historical context will also be a trouble when you are handling the business intelligence related things. When you want to generate comprehensive reports that span multiple data sources, often involves manual data extraction, manipulation, and reconciliation, a time consuming, error prone process that delays critical insights. Sometimes running reports on transactional ERP data also drives up consumption costs. When you are trying to run on the directly on the transactional tables, it actually consumes the storage costs. It could also drive up the time to run these particular reports, because it takes a lot of time to process this data within the ERP, and then it could also have some kind of time that we have to look at when we are doing this activity. So, and sometimes what happens is that conflicting data across systems lead to disagreements on key performance indicators and a lack of trust in reported figures, undermining the data driven decision making. So sometimes even I have seen some I kind of IFS cloud database customers where customers run heavy reports directly on the transaction tables, which increases the load and cost. All of these particular things could pose challenges when we move the data from the legacy systems into the new system, because it's not just only the IFS cloud data or the ERP data that is there. The data in multiple other applications need to be handled. So we have a solution for it. So one is to consolidate the data for comprehensive insights. So we move the aged data, historical records, analytical workloads to Azure Data Lake or Databricks or Snowflake or Redshift. We actually try to implement a data lake solution. And then we connect these things to Power BI or Tableau. This keeps your IFS instance lean and performant and reduces storage and processing cost over time. So our intention is to bring a solution that is a unified enterprise data platform for IFS customers. We propose a comprehensive data warehousing solution designed to address these pain points directly, ensuring your IFS cloud implementation or upgrade becomes a catalyst for superior data management and insightful decision making. So our approach is focusing on creating a single pane of glass for all your enterprise data, combining historical and ongoing information for a complete picture. That way you can keep your IFS application handling the current data, whereas the historical data is in the data lake. At the same time, the data lake also takes care of the other information that is there. So what is the benefits out of this particular one? You have reduced the load on your ERP database, better performance and lower costs from a IFS infrastructure perspective, while it also gives the other benefits of leveraging the data from all the sources to generate enterprise-wide data insights. So what we do is we try to create the data from the IFS. We try to take the data from the IFS cloud. We do a data replication into the Azure Snowflake. All the historical data goes into from the legacy system goes into the Azure Snowflake or into your data warehouse solution or a data lake solution, and then that will be connected to the BI solutions for better information and then reporting. So So we have there is a high level architecture that we often recommend here. It's a real time or scheduled data extraction from IFS Cloud. It could be via APIs or it could be via ETL or a CDC, like a change data capture kind of thing. Whenever there is a change, you capture this particular data and then move this particular data. So we replicate this particular data, and it data sits in a secure lake or a warehouse. At the same time, when we move this particular data, it need not be always from IFS Cloud. It could also be from other sources of data. So we can bring all this particular data into this particular data lake or the data warehouse, and then the business users across the organization access the reports via modernized visualization tools. We use ProV's own ETL templates to speed this up, and we also provide monitoring to ensure sync jobs don't lag in this particular entire exercise. And when we create the data management solutions on top of this particular data lake or data warehouse, we typically leverage, it could be Azure Data Bricks, or it could be Snowflake, or it could be Redis, or any other kind of data warehouse solution that we are going to create. We try to create these particular things using a medallion architecture for data quality and governance. In this one, we try to create three different layers. For one, for the raw data, where all the immutable data ingested directly from the source systems. It could be IFS Cloud, legacy ERP, CRM, HR, all those things without any transformations. And this layer serves as a historical archive and a reliable source for reprocessing. We have the second layer, which is a cleaned and conformed data, wherein we bring this particular previous data, we do the cleansing, all the deduplication is done, we standardize the data and conform to a consistent schema. And this layer provides the single source of truth for the core business entities and dimensions. And then the third layer would be the curated and business ready data, which is highly refined, aggregated, and transformed data, specially optimized for business intelligence, reporting, and analytical use cases. And this layer contains the business specific metrics, the KPIs, the pre-calculated aggregates, making it easy for business users to consume. And then they can leverage on the business intelligence tools, or maybe we can add some AI on top of it to be able to handle these particular things in a much better manner. So the kind of insights that we can unlock with this particular in BI tools and other things, with the clean consolidated data foundation, what we have created, we empower our organization with powerful business intelligence tools, reporting capabilities, either using Power BI dashboards for dynamic interactive dashboards that are built with along with the key performance indicators and trends across various business functions, which can be seamlessly combined data with current IFS Cloud instance, as well as with the historical data from legacy systems or even from other system sources. Beyond these particular dashboards, we also developed tailored reports to meet the specific departmental or regulatory requirements, ensuring that all necessary information is readily available and accurate. And sometimes we also empower business users with ability to explore data independently through user-friendly interfaces, reducing reliance on IT for ad hoc queries. Overall, our intention to bring in this particular one is to bring in a scenario where you can derive actionable insights from data with ease, and also use this particular insights to make informed decisions. And what are the benefits that you are going to achieve with this particular one is that you have already consolidated all the data from relevant historical and current data. So you mitigate the risk of data gaps, ensuring full compliance with industry regulations and internal policies. We have broken down the data silos. So we have a comprehensive unified perspective of your complete operations, enabling better informed decisions across all departments. There is a provision that we automate the data consolidation and reporting processes, significantly reducing the time and effort required to generate critical business insights. We can leverage the full power of your data for trend analysis. We can create predictive modeling and strategic planning, moving from reactive to proactive decision making. We identify bottlenecks, optimize processes, and gain deeper insights into your supply chain, manufacturing, and financial operations. By maximizing the value of your data, you accelerate the return on investment for your IFS Cloud implementation or an upgrade. And we, along with this, these particular tools provide intuitive tools and quick access to insights, fostering a data-driven culture throughout your organization. While these are not the benefits that you are going to have with this particular one, you can further enhance these things by including an AI component. You can leverage natural language queries. Imagine asking the questions in plain English, or by leveraging ProV's custom agents on this particular one. For example, you're asking, what were our sales figures last quarter for product X and region Y? And then you can receive an instant accurate answer and along with the visualizations. This democratizes the data access and reduces the learning curve for business users. Another advantage that you get by the AI functionality is that these AI algorithms can proactively identify unusual patterns or deviations in your data, alerting you to potential issues or opportunities that might otherwise go unnoticed. And we can also leverage the historical data, and using this particular one, AI can forecast future trends. For example, demand forecasting, inventory optimization, enabling more proactive and strategic decision making. So all these particular things helps in doing these particular activities. So we have seen two different ways on how we handle the data for better ROI. One is how we can better handle the migration activities by using accelerators, by using tools, by using standard methodologies and predefined, well proven techniques to ensure that the data is properly transformed into the IFS system, IFS Cloud environment, using the migration techniques that we have seen. We have used the templates and tools to automate these particular activities. We have also seen scenarios where we want to keep the IFS cloud lean and clean. At the same time, we do not want to leverage, we do not want to lose the functionality, we do not want to lose the flexibility of leveraging the legacy data, and at the same time want to create insights that actually can be leveraged for enterprise-wide data analytics or data decision making. When data is spread across multiple systems, and also the source of truth is also spread across multiple systems, we have seen how we can leverage the data warehousing and how ProV can leverage these particular techniques to ensure that this is created much faster, and also we can perform the AI related enhancements on top of it for better value creation to our customers. We have performed this kind of activities for certain kind of manufacturing customers, wherein they have leveraged this particular data, the legacy data from the old systems, and the data from other systems, the legacy data from other systems have moved into the data warehouse, and the current data moves into the data lake or the data warehouse at regular intervals as per the predefined cycles that has been defined. And then we have created the business insights for these particular customers in such a way that they can have they can have the complete dashboards which leverage the data from multiple systems at the same time, and then showcase a overall company's picture with much ease of use for their management and the business users. So these are some of the things. While we say that these are some of the things that we can build for you, many IFS customers also look at AI, and then there is always an important factor that we have to consider, wherein we have to prepare the data for AI. So that is also an important activity that we need to consider when you are preparing for leveraging AI. Before we start dreaming of AI, we need to ensure that uh, the data needs to be clean, normalized, and well structured. Otherwise, your AI driven forecasts, or maybe your AI driven predictive maintenance identification data that has been identified, can be erroneous. So what we recommend for these particular things is to ensure that the data that is being provided in the system is done with deduplicating the master records. We identify and remove the duplicate entries to ensure the data accuracy. It could be for your customer data, suppliers data, and such kind of things. The next one is that we enforce validation rules for the validating the data inputs, ensuring consistency and correctness. So we have to fix the invalid units of measures, tax codes, currencies, and such kind of things. So units of measure also could have issues, right? So you may have global data. When you have global data, we might have to require the fixes to issue with the global units. Some of your users may be using the units as kg, and for the weight, and some of the other units may refer it in pounds. So you need to ensure that your global data records, the units of measure and all those things are properly mapped and handled. And also we have to deactivate the obsolete SKUs and vendors. So we have to remove the obsolete records. It could be not only inactive SKUs and vendors, it could also be removing orphan records, removing junk data. And at the same time, we try to align the hierarchies and align with the data that is relevant to the system. And not last, not but not the least, actually, we have to normalize the key fields that are used in this particular one. The naming conventions has to be normalized. So we have the fields like part names, addresses, and payment terms. So we need to normalize these particular things for better understanding and better ease of understanding, and also for clarity purposes, so that the application picks up the proper things in this particular one when we are handling this data. There are tools like you have the IFS Arena's data quality dashboards, where you can visualize your data. It gives you visibility of the how the data is, and then you can create steps. So you take steps to clean those particular things. On top of this, ProV has got some Python routines which can actually automate the cleanup across multiple layers, what we have discussed here. All these particular steps are done before we prepare your system to be ready for AI activities. So these are some of the things that we do when we have to do that. So before starting on your dream AI journey dream, we need to ensure that we start cleaning your data, and it should happen now. And what are the benefits for this particular one? How clean data enables AI use cases. Say, for example, you are having a predictive maintenance. Clean and complete work order history is essential for maintaining a proper predictive maintenance uh, responses when you are having the AI respond to those things. Similarly, you need accurate and complete sales data if you want to have AI queries related to dynamic pricing, and it should react with you with proper responses. And also you need reliable and normalized demand data, similar for their stock and demand patterns, for inventory optimization. So all these particular things are enables that the AI provides you better responses or correct responses when for the queries that are being made. So simply put, no clean data, no AI. So getting started now puts you on the right track for innovation. So with this, I actually cover all these particular topics that we have planned for today. I understand that the time is too short for having a detailed discussion about the overall activities that we have to do as part of a data migration, or for data management using data warehouses, or for enabling the AI using the data in your systems. To have more insights and details, you may reach out to to any of our team members in ProV, and then we will be happy to provide you with more information on how we handle those particular things, what are the best practices to handle these particular things, how much time we can save by using the accelerators and tools that ProV has created, and then how we can leverage those particular things to help you in reducing the overall time for your IFS implementation, or for your IFS upgrade activities, or for handling your data in a much better manner. With this, I would like to turn it to the team members for a Q&A session.
Thank you, Srinivas. Yeah, as Srinivas said, there's, you guys are at a number of different places within your journey with data, and even within your relationship with IFS. So again, as Srinivas mentioned, we understand that each in every scenario, there's going to be a case by case basis. And what I'll say about ProV, what's unique about us is that we're one of those companies that is very flexible. So we'll meet you wherever you're at today. So we do everything from turnkey situations where you say, hey, we don't really have the team or the bandwidth to address this, to the extreme opposite, which is, hey, just give us some guidance on how we can address this, and then something in between where we collaboratively work together to create an outcome that meets your needs. So with that, let's open it up for questions. We did finish about 3 minutes earlier, so we should be able to get through all the questions. Again, each scenario is going to be slightly different, but let's open it up for questions right now and see what we can get through. Thank you. Srinivas, I know there was a question in the chat. I think it's already been answered. It came from Scott Hansen. The question was that they're currently doing a lot of data cleaning on their own in their current version of IFS, but they're looking to upgrade to the cloud, and they wanted to understand if they would still have that ability to do that data cleansing once they go through that upgrade experience. But it looks like Vinod has provided an answer. I guess we'll ask Scott, does that sufficient in answering your question? Srinivas, looks like maybe Scott's still on mute. Is there anything you want to add to Vinod's response?
I think Vinod has completely covered the response. Maybe for the better understanding of the people, I can actually repeat this particular one. The question that has been requested is that there is Scott has asked about that they have been doing data cleansing within their own database. Their hope is that we continue to do so after the upgrade. Is there any reason, as long as IFS is not our host, that we would have less access to our data post upgrade? So as long as IFS is not hosting your environment, and if you are a self-managed or a third-party hosted deployment of IFS Cloud, you will retain full access to your database post upgrade. So that is what actually is the response from ProV, Vinod. Thanks, Vinod, for the response. So you can continue performing direct SQL-based data analysis or cleansing subject to all these particular practices. Whatever we have discussed, you can continue to do so even after your upgrade. You can handle those particular things. While when it is hosted on IFS Cloud environment, the database access is limited to the solutions that has to be in there. So we need to use some kind of OData-based OData RESTful APIs to be able to interact with the data within the IFS database to be able to perform this particular one. We still can do that, but the methodology how we do and the way how we handle those particular data or access to that particular data needs to be different. And then we definitely we can continue with the practices to handle the data integrity and validation outlined in the IFS Cloud documentation, particularly using APIs and business events for writing back to the application, so wherever feasible. So it completely covers the response, what is required for Scott. And then I think Terry has a query.
Yes, thank you. So we migrated our data ourselves. We went live earlier this year, January. And right now we keep running out of space. And we went and we didn't bring historical data. We just took over master data and we started new. And we're not sure why we keep running out of space. We're doing cleanup. We moved historical into Google Cloud, and we're using BI to access historical data. But I'm wondering, the tool you're talking about, does that actually help archive, or how often should we be archiving? Do you have anything that you can add to that?
The tool where we have shown that we are using the methodology to store the data, all the historical data on the data warehouse or the data lake. In that particular one, we are also having a methodology to archive your historical data. Say, like, for example, the initial historical data would have been moved into the data lake. It will never go into your IFS Cloud environment. And when IFS Cloud is operating, then IFS Cloud has got all the new data. And then that is also the present data, the current data is going into data warehouse for the generating the insights using the business intelligence as in your scenario. Now, there is another step in this particular one wherein we can define certain rules on when to archive and what kind of data to archive. And then based on that, the application moves this particular data from IFS Cloud into and keeps that only on the data warehouse, so that IFS Cloud automatically gets cleaned up with that particular archived data. That archive data happens within the data warehouse, so that IFS Cloud has got clean to that particular extent, and that will actually provide you more space on your storage devices for this particular one.
Srini sir, I would like to add one more thing of the first point. Am I audible to you guys?
Yes.
Yeah. The issue of out of space. We know that you might have included only masters on one transactions, but it may happen that the database table space or the file groups might have reached the limit. Somebody might have kept a limit on the table space for the particular table, or you might have put a log on the complete tables. So if you can check that both, that would be the problem for your out of space. Or it may happen that, yeah.
I expect logging, and maybe when we did the migration that we didn't clean up some of the migrated data, but I wasn't sure if there was a way to how we should look at that.
Yeah, if you want, you can reach out to us. We will be able to help you out on that also. We'll just take some time to see your database, review the database, and then come back with some solid reasons of why you are getting out of space. Thank you.
Terry, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. Good question. All right, I'm looking out there, seeing if there's anybody else that has a question. Right. Just give them 30 seconds more and then we'll wrap things up.
I have one more question. I'm sorry, this is Terry. My team was not able to attend. Will this video or this recording be shared?
So it will be shared, but you had to register for it. However, what I'll do, Terry, is I'm going to have our marketing person button this up into a link, and I'll share that with you, and you can then share that with the team.
Thank you.
You bet. All right. Any other questions? So with that, thanks all. Enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll be in touch. Bye now.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.